Up and exclusive. For those who pre-ordered Grab It's Better With Time, this one's for you.
Don't look back when I call you, but does that mean that you're not there? Go back to when I saw you. Beautiful time in a deadly year. You think I'm stupid, but I get it now. How long can we make this go? Just hurry up and spit it out, baby, cause I got to know. Don't break away, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay. Don't break away, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay. Don't break away, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay. Stay. I let it consume me, I let it control me. I'll always be lonely, I'll never be fine. If life is a movie, it's always so boring. Where is the story? I hope it gets better with time. Yeah, I hope it gets better with time. It's better with time. Don't look back when I call you, but does that mean that you don't care? Go back to when I saw you. Your beautiful eyes with a deadly stare. You think I'm stupid, but I get it now. How long can we make this go? Won't hurt to let it out, baby, cause I got to know. Don't break away, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay. Don't break away, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay. Don't break away, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay. Don't break away, cause I want to stay, cause I want to stay. I let it consume me, I let it control me. I'll always be lonely, I'll never be fine. If life is a movie, it's always so boring.
Hello! Welcome to the cast. How are you, Rifkin?
Hey, Zombie Grub, I'm doing just fine. How about yourself?
I'm alright.
We, of course, are starting a little bit late today, but not by too much. Zombie Grub's already on top of things, making the map and getting the lobby all set up for us, which is great. This is, of course, the round of 4, aka the semifinals for the CSL Archive Mode tournaments.
Yes, that's correct. And I already forgot who I'm inviting. I believe Dara, sorry, Kokomite, and then someone else. I'm gonna bring it up on stream. Rhaegor! Nailed it. As you saw on the screen, here it is once again. It's going to be Pikes Peak versus University of South Alabama going first. And I don't know. We've been casting these guys for the last 2 weeks, basically, round of 16, round of 8s. And I recall most of them being one-sided, but I do know that at least 1 or 2 actually went to 3-2s.
Yeah, we talked about so the first 2 matches we cast in the round of 8. I don't remember the teams, but they were like kind of back and forthy maps. Then the last 2 we cast were both like 3-0, 3-0 type situations. So we got to know that at least coming here into the round of 4, there was going to be a couple of good games, hopefully and ideally.
Hopefully. I just have to wait for Rhaegar to get in here. I don't know why, like, they really need to fix lobbies. I had them all set up in, like, 2v2, and then I split it to Archon, and they should just stay in the same 2v2 slots.
I know, I saw you had it all perfectly done. I know you feel the feeling. I should probably go host some base trade, actually. Just give me a sec, too, because I forgot to do that thing.
Here we go. This will make it much easier. Rhaegar, where are you? Yeah, I know I'm supposed to invite that guy. I've been trying to. Thanks for suggesting it.
Yeah, thanks a ton. I don't think Zombie considered it.
Hello. See some people already joining in. There he is. They're ready to go now, I assume. Let me just check if they're ready. So it is a best of 5 all tonight. So best of 5 semi, best of 5 semi, and then a best of 5 finals of those 2 winners. We got it already from Rhaegar and Adora. Okay, so that should be good to go. Let's get into it. Hopefully everything is good. The only thing that's changed on the audio side is we're using Zoom instead of Skype, but that really shouldn't have changed much.
No, if anything, it will ideally make things better.
Yeah, exactly. And I think my Starcraft 2 sounds haven't changed either. Although I did play Archon mode, so maybe they did.
Archon mode hype!
Oh god. I actually played 1v1 today. All by myself. I know.
Oh, you poor unfortunate soul.
No, I was ballin', man. I went undefeated. It was amazing.
Oh, well then, congratulations, I guess.
Yeah, I went like 6-0, man. Oh, look, all those points dropping on me. I was listening to Tempo's song during it, too.
Which one? The brand new one, or?
Yeah, the brand new one. Just louder, man. That's what got me in the mood. Okay, anyways.
All right, so confirmed that this is this confirmed to be just best of 5, right?
Yes, best of 5 all the way through, so. And a ZVZ, that might not last long. And it is a ZVZ. We're on Central Protocol as the first map, and as you can see, we can already kind of look and see this is why ZVZs maybe don't last that long. In the top right, going for a cheesy build, it is the red Zerg team, Sasori and Daedara, playing for, hold on, Pikes Peak, the Fighting Aardvarks.
The Fighting Aardvarks. Might not remember a lot about this, but team names certainly are the ones that stick out. The other side of the map, we have the orange Zerg Archon made of Kokomite and Rhaegar. I had this, hang on, Kura, right? Whatever, South Alabama, I know that much. I couldn't remember the Archon.
Oh, yes. Team. Yes, the Archon team is Kura. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
I'm shooting for the stars in absolute tryhard mode fashion.
Nice. Good job. Alright, so Central Protocol, not a huge map, but, you know, with ZVZ, it's all about the speedlings anyway, so map size doesn't usually matter. What matters more is usually, like, you know, those Overlord positionings. You know, how likely you're going to be to scout your opponent first. Like, can you dodge the Overlords if they're just if it's, you know, you know where they are, if it's a 2-spawn location type deal. On a 4-spawn location, of course, there is actually no sight in the middle of this map. They both sent their overlords, you know, on like top to bottom, and as such, I don't think they know what each other is doing. It's gonna get a little awkward.
Well, the Ling's gonna catch the Lings, but that's a little bit of a one-sided fight.
Little bit, yeah. Of course, our orange Zerg had a bunch of lings just going every which way, where our red Zerg actually just bulked up their lings defensively. So that might be because, I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't see anything. Breaking the graphs. No, it might be because it's just in ZVZ right now, or they actually studied their opponents, and we did see quite a few cheeses in the ZVZs we cast over the past 2 weeks, and they figured that's what's going to happen. If so, they got a little bit of an edge from it, just being on the defensive right there, but everything is still pretty darn even, even like hatch times for the most part, and, well, I guess analysis oriented are now at 18 lings, but it's 5 ling difference.
Well, looking again top of the natural base, I mean, this forces a fight, so Kokomite and Regular can't just ignore these lings. They will eventually kill that hatchery, but
There we go.
There, yeah, here's those Banelings coming into play, though, and that's where a lot of this is going to come down to seeing whether Archon mode controls the best or not. You've got one guy focusing on all these links right now. There shouldn't be that massive, like, 40 Zergling hit.
Yeah, there shouldn't, but it still happens. So that is why their link count is just the slightest bit lower, as they did go for the faster Baneling nest, but those Banelings would, of course, win them the game if they were lucky enough. Hasn't done that yet. The game, though, has already started shifting into Red Zerg's favor here. They got the bit faster of a hatchery, like 25% faster, and they're up 6 drones. So despite having the Baneling nest faster, it really has not helped our Orange Zerg.
So there's another part of this too where we usually talk about this in the context of like 2 really good players colliding at the top level, and if they bounce off each other, you macro out of it. It could actually be a situation where, and we've seen this through the Archon mode cast of the CSL, they're not the highest levels of play, but if both players still end up equalizing, whether it's in a really good or really poor fashion, this could still go outwards towards Roaches and Ravagers and whatnot. But for now, it is still a lot of these lings. You got those Banelings coming in from Kokomite and Regor.
A little bit dangerous. Do have lings on both sides, though. Constant back and forth here. Everything's gonna be up to the micro player right now. We actually have an Evo chamber being thrown down from our Orange Zerg team here, either for Overlord drops to continue harassment with lings, or they're looking for a faster +1 of some sort. We've actually been seeing quite a few +1 melee upgrades initially, even though Carapace used to be what it was.
I mean, I don't think melee is bad, don't get me wrong, but it is odd to see that be the new priority on things. But there's a drone with the army zombie grubs. Sester and Didera are like, we're gonna, nope, send him back home. Damn it, I was hoping to see him die gloriously. A couple Banelings straight up for a couple Banelings, but there's more for the Red Zerg Archon, and unfortunately, Kokomite and Regor started to be a little bit out of steam, so to speak. Big hit on those Banelings on the backside of it, and they can't defend their natural. Drone count was even going into this fight, but it's not going to be coming out of it.
No, this went... Nothing really happened other than our Red Zerg being on the defensive with these early pools. But that little bit really seemed to change the game, because Kokomite and Regor were constantly the ones catching up, and of course now they're dead, just like they're GG. But they were the ones catching up. They were the ones down in drones initially. They were almost consistently down in lings, about 4 and then 10 and then 20. And they just... They actually didn't look strong. I mean, obviously ZVZ could go either way just because of one misslip, but that was, I feel, more on the part of the macro player instead of the micro.
Well, Team Red Zerg not looking too bad coming out of it. We'll see if they can hold this lead. It is one of those early pool games, though, so it's really hard to be like, well, that was a true testament of skill, because that's not usually the case. But I guess the one thing to mention was, it's not like Regor and Kokomite came into that completely unknowing what to do. We saw them get the Banelings, we saw them get their defense up, and it's just that unfortunate back and forth that is very difficult to play out.
It is, and ZVZ I still think is the hardest matchup in Archon mode, because it is so quick, and so much of it depends on being on scouting while attacking and getting this very perfect scout in that 1 second. So less about sending a ling in and trying to get the scout, and more just like, okay, my Baneling hit about 15 lings, so I don't have to be worried, but your macro player isn't necessarily being told that, because, well, you're a bit busy trying to micro.
That's where you get at the select sub-sun shrug emote.
Yeah, so that's how you're going to communicate with your partner.
That's good teamwork, right?
It's taking much longer to do that. It was just being on Skype and being like, hey, I got a nice hit.
Yeah.
I mean, either one though. Whatever. Please stop accidentally declining. Kokomite. Rhaegar, please.
Oh, let me get in there as well. Get a piece of the action. Oh!
What the hell's that for?
I don't know. I just wanted to heroically join the lobby.
Oh, okay. Hero. Well, okay, everyone's ready, so yay! No downtime. Unfortunately, we might have that situation which we had last week, I believe, where it ended so fast their team wasn't ready. Jon Snow is ready. Here, so is Jobama, and I thought I Love Pillaring lost. Well, either way, we do have some players from the next series, so hopefully at the very least they could at least alert their partner, like, hey, get on, because it's early. I'm not sure if they were told to be here early, or there is some miscommunication on what was first. Because I know Jon Snow is like, oh, they're playing first? Okay, so he's probably laddering now. Oh, it's a best of 5, of course. And in the bottom left, they are up 1. Yeah, I tell you, I actually forgot in the 5 seconds.
That moment where you hiccup as the guy doing the score.
Dang.
Don't I know it too well?
But in the bottom left, they're up 1. It is Daedara and Sasori.
Oh, I didn't realize you got Canadian on me. I'm so sorry.
Hey.
Alright, now top right is going to be the opposing team. Again, this is the semifinals of the CSL Archon Mode tournament. And it's going to be the combination of Rhaegar and Kokomite.
Alright, so once again at this early pool from this team, makes a lot of sense. They're the ones that benefited from it last time, and I do recall them actually including this in their other matchups as well, right? Just being more aggressive players. A drone scout is actually sent out here, which is very interesting. Usually you just don't see drone scouts because it's not worth the economical, disadvantage you get from this, like one drone getting the scout, when usually, and especially in a map that is, a very direct across the line here, your overload's going to pass each other, obviously you're going to be able to hopefully see the lings come out, those will see if it's a fast link, not necessarily having to send the drone out, but...
And I mean, one of the first off, this drone's causing annoyance. Yay! But one of the influencing factors on this too is, no matter what map it is, by the time that drone actually gets there to scout, the economy you've lost is actually not worth the information you gain if you're just blindly prepared for cheese, for example. So that's why we see a lot of people getting stuck around like the 13, 14, and then Fenrir's been trying to, I guess, sort of popularize like a 12, 13 pool timings with gas. It's just, everyone's trying to find a way to cheese just a little bit sooner and faster. So that drone scout really doesn't help much. This is a very interesting scout, though. The drone's going to see the hatchery go down at the 3rd. But it's not this isn't that typical guessing game you have, because he's already seen the pool time, he's seen the lanes, he knows it's not 3 hatcheries. Or sorry, excuse me, they should know it's not 3 hatcheries. So that's a really interesting choice to take the hatchery out that far for Team Red.
Yeah, now they would have to fear basically a counterattack. Potentially, as we know, Rhaegar and Kokomite unfortunately did have very much later gas and as such speed, so that's one thing they really don't have to fear, as their speed is about to kick in. They might get a scout on the spawning pool. Okay, never mind, it is starting to wiggle and jiggle. But they're going to have this great time of basically being able to run around and do whatever they want. Deny a 3rd, that's never going to come down, right? Pick off a queen if she's out of position for 1 second, go into the natural, pick off that queen, for instance. Like, they have such control over this game with this faster speed. It's not even the link count that is necessarily scary, as you see, like, Blue Zerg starting to match them on link counts. Is that their links will never be able to catch Theodoras and Sasori's.
So, just a quick question, too, while we're watching this get up. Has the microphone been alright so far? Have I been cutting out at all tonight?
No, not at all.
Great. So far, so good, then.
Oh, well, take that back. They weren't really supposed to be able to catch these speedlings, but then they go to the drone line and get surrounded.
Thought you might, like, take that back on the microphone. Like, oh, you're lagging like crazy now.
Sorry.
Way to go, zombie.
Sorry. No, you're good. You are good. We had 2 Bailey nests coming down. It will be necessary. I mean, of course, Rhaegar and Kokomite now do have this kind of scary counterattack where they really didn't take much damage from that early pool. And getting a spine crawler, while not a necessity, is certainly going to make it easier for them to drone.
Well, I mean, right now it's going to be dangerous to drone. That's a lot of blue on the map.
Yeah, a couple banelings morphing in too, just a tiny bit ahead of our Red Zerg's baneling nest. Spinecrawler is ready though, that'll certainly be able to help snipe the banelings. Of course the two queens are here too to do basically, specifically that. They'll help against the lings a little bit, but they really want to focus on these banelings, and hopefully the micro player will be able to do that. Does catch the lings on the ramp, but has to of course bypass the banelings.
This is really great focus fire out of the Red Archon as well. The Queens just went to town on the banelings immediately instead of just kind of auto-attacking whimsily. So if they hadn't been able to take those out so quickly, Rhaegar and Kokomite would not have been driven off so easily.
No. But they were driven off. They tried to get a third base behind this. They hoped that they would be able to scare their opponent and, you know, maybe keep up that kind of almost fake pressure. But having lost most of the lings, it is the game of ZVZ. When you lose your army, it's not like, okay, I'll just go and turtle back at home. It's like you have to make another army.
I mean, one of the things is, though, not only did they take a third, they've got a massive drone lead out of this. And Didara and Sasri, okay, they're going to go for a small counterattack with these lings. Coming inside third there, but there's banelings, and this could just be walking into the banelings if they're not careful.
Again, they have their own baneling nest, but haven't really had the necessity to use it. But if they're going to do a real attack here, they will have to make a couple of banelings. They instead go for a faster lair and just choose to kind of, I don't know, it's not even really taking a fight. They was actually just losing lings. Didn't expect the reinforcement lings, probably. But now they're in a bit of trouble. I mean, they have 2 defensive banelings, 2 defensive spine crawlers, but that is a lot of lings coming here for Rhaegar and Kokomite.
I'm surprised they're sticking with this. I really thought they got that nice drone lead. They had the third base on the way. I thought for sure it would have been roaches, not continued lings. But I mean, if they can flood and win, more power to them. They need to down one of the series. But I don't know that this will work. Now,
going for that big gun! Oh, nice.
What a wonderful trade for Team Red on that engagement.
That was really good. But that was their only banelings. They realized that maybe a little bit too soon. Rhaegar and Kokomite used their banelings to pull up the morphing ones. But that was... That is all of their banelings. 3 more are on the way, but only a handful of lings. 18 more lings are on the way, though, and Didora and Sasori are not quite done defending yet. They're trying to get drones, they're trying to get tech, but I think the macro player just misjudged right here.
Even with those transfuses, Queens are barely staying alive through this. Without that ling support behind it. I didn't think Blue was going to break this with more lings and more banelings, but it's starting to look like that might be the case. Banelings, I mean, it's only going to take 2 to get that sweet spot in the mineral line. Got a Spire on the way, and that's why we're seeing perhaps a little bit less dedication out of Didara and Sasori, but it's scary because this is not the time to play frugal.
But the lings, maybe they're starting to be held a little bit. No banelings, again, from Red Zerg is really making this a lot harder. That Spinecrawler is in a pretty damn good position in terms of, like, not dying easily, but of course it can barely reach where it's needed most. 2 banelings making it to the main base.
These are going to go to the mineral lines. Drones do get pulled away from this, though.
Oh, they go for the Spire.
Ooh, that's going to be a nice pick-off.
That is an interesting pick-off. I mean, they could have gotten more drones. They could have maybe even ended the game by getting so many drones. But getting the Spire...
I think only Spire is getting in the game, actually, because Didara and Sasori had banked up 900 gas. The reason they weren't making banelings for what could have been an easy mode defense was they were really relying going all in with those mutas. Now there's no lings, there's no banelings, there's no Spire, and no way to spend this gas, and now the drone count is just way too far behind.
Yeah, they lost out on all fronts towards the end there, and the tech was their last hope in this case. If they had lost 17 drones, but maybe had 7 mutas, you know, maybe they do come back. You know, maybe the defense isn't good from our Blue Zerg, or they just are really good with mutas. I don't know, but down 20 drones now, mutas will not be enough. I mean, it's still only halfway done. They're gonna lose tons more drones.
Well, starting to tap out of the game. Looks like we're gonna have the series tie up 1-1. Rhaegar and Kokomite, let's do it.
Yeah, so they even it up, is now 1-1 in this best of 5. They are playing, of course, to get to the finals, to be played out later tonight after the second semifinals. The prize pool is going to be a total of $2,000, so not bad, and very quick, Runes of Saros.
Yeah, that's scholarship money too, which is really interesting. So it's not your classic just $2,000 grab it and run type thing. It's just gonna help all the players out with specifically college. Makes sense because it's the Collegiate Star League.
Let's get everyone in here. Sasori PMs me with Ruins of Saros. Nice big map. Odd, because they're the ones going for the early pool all the time.
Well, it's just while we're getting this up, thank you guys for joining us tonight. You know, it's not so easy to catch us because it's not on Base Trade TV, so you don't get those awesome notifications that we're live. But to the fans of ours in the audience, shout outs and hellos, and to those who are just fans of the CSL, hopefully you're enjoying your teams duke it out.
Mm-hmm. If you are interested in the CSL, you can go to cstarleague.com to learn more. They have divisions in almost every single famous esport, big esport, Dota 2, Hearthstone, League of Legends, and of course Starcraft 2.
You can just say other games.
Because other games used to mean just like, yeah, those top 3, top 4, or whatever. But now with ESL going into like, what were they, Puzzle and Dragons? Yeah, it could mean a lot of things.
I don't agree, but okay. I can see what you're saying.
Really? If I didn't know anything about the CSL, and even after casting it for the past 2 months, I still say that I don't know a lot because I don't watch the other sports.
So you managed to tune into a StarCraft stream with a handful of people watching, and your first thought upon hearing other games is like, oh, I can't wait to train for Mama's Kitchen on the Wii U so I can start getting CSL money. Like, I don't...
No, but I would imagine they were doing the same thing as ESL, just kind of grabbing whatever game there is.
Okay. Game number 3, it's a best of 5 here in the semifinals, the CSL. Spawning in the bottom right side of Runes of Saras, we've got Regor, or sorry, excuse me, getting the names reversed, Didara and Sasori.
In the bottom left, as the purple Zerg, that is Regor and Kokomite.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And need I remind you that this could be in a VOD? Someone just goes by on YouTube and totally looks up like college esports, and they're like, "Damn, I wish they had Puzzle and Dragons." I'm sorry, they don't.
I'm gonna be that guy who's probably gonna get us in trouble for saying it, but yo, the CSL VODs are not. Like that's some reaching right there, Zamigam. I'm sorry. And like, in fairness, too, I could say the exact same thing about our VODs and Base Trade TV. You know, granted, we're far more popular, but we probably get just as few views than all of our VODs on YouTube.
No one watches VODs. There's way too much live content. A sad day for YouTube stars everywhere.
I know. Well, I mean, like, that's the thing, though. It's kind of funny to think back on. You got guys like Day9 and et cetera. Like, they're able to get both, right? But for everyone else, they really did feel like YouTube was where the big stars started. It's where all the content could be easily accessed. And Twitch didn't really get big till like even 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I'd say that's where they really started to overtake. I was thinking about, you know the song "Video Killed the Radio Star"?
Yeah.
Twitch killed the YouTube star. I was like, damn, that's got to be a parody somewhere. But I am not a songwriter.
Yo, and if we're gonna just real talk for a moment, that song is so freaking catchy. Like I
love the girls part.
I'm really glad you didn't hum a bar or two of it, because then it'd be stuck in my head all night.
Oh. That's my favorite part. Alright, so as you saw on the camera, hopefully none of you are just listening to an audio cast, although I guess some people do. I've learned that recently. Some people do try. Must be
audio
hard.
cast hype.
But anyways, if you're watching the camera, you saw that there was an early pool here from Regor and Kokomite compared to, well, the people that chose this map. Now, they were the ones in the last 2 games who were going for the early pool consistently, but they picked the bigger map and they went for the more macro game. Makes sense, actually, but it is still horizontal spawns. A little bit lucky for Regor and Kokomite to get the closest spawns, such a big map for this little rush. I believe it was not spotted by the Overlord, but they still had lings coming out anyways.
I'll give that +1 coming out of Didara and Sasori, by the way, behind this. The +1 melee specifically. So, I mean, first they've got to live to get there. Funny to say with such a small amount of lings in play, but I am really curious how this plays out, specifically because this is a move you do when you want to kill roaches or go for a base kill. This is not necessarily in reply to seeing a bunch of lings.
Yeah. I think they had a build and they were just a little bit interrupted with this, well, basically their opponent's build, but if they can buy enough time to get there, their lings will obviously be stronger, but they will still die to a single baneling. That's why Carapace builds were that was the thing in later Heart of the Swarm.
It was the cool majigger.
Totally. Oh, but the lings just actually run past the lings of Daedora, and so sorry, that's a little awkward.
Well, so sorry that you didn't have any banelings to defend with.
That's a pretty nice split. And one minute even wasted on a
Archon
Ling.
level splitting is what that is. That's the type of moves you expect to start seeing at Archon mode. We got some players who can, like, all right, dude, help me split the drones. Help me split the drones. We're panicking.
Here's the perfect response, though, from Rhaegar and Kokomite. They didn't just try and, you know, go like, oh, I guess this is the best hit I'm going to get with the Banelings. They saved them and let the Lings kill those individual drones that weren't stacked up. They tried to use the Banelings to hit the Lings that were reinforcing, and this looks like it is going to be a game for our Red Zerg team. On the 9 drones.
Yeah, you know, they came out of the series hard, really expecting this to... I mean, they made it look like with that early quick 1-0, it would be their tournament, but... The defense so far, I mean, defended, but as you said, 9 drones is still 9 drones.
Yeah, they didn't even invest into a Baneling nest. They really were going for that +1 melee. So their counterattack isn't very scary. Their defense is still very flimsy. I mean, besides a Baneling nest, they're also just lacking in just production straight up with having so few drones. No defense back at home, so Ling's will be able to take out this queen and then be able to individually snipe off the drones, and there it is. Good game. We're on Kokomite for Team University of South Alabama. Will now leads the best of 5, 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, ZVZ is a tough matchup though right now. Anyone you've seen streaming, if you've played on the ladder yourself, you know just how rough this can be. And I know this is starting to look a little bit like, oh my god, what a couple of noobs. How did they even make it to the semifinals? But you know, again, they took that first series really hard. They took, first game. They took 2 losses in a row. It's a hard matchup to play in the early game. It's why everyone hates the matchup, too. Even the best players don't love this because they don't like playing that dance of Lings.
Yeah, it is very difficult. I mean, to go from that first game where it looked like Rhaegar and Kokomite were just not as good as reading ZVZ, to, of course, now being up 2-1 just shows how topsy-turvy it can be. I guess their macro player just needed to warm up and remember what ZVZ felt like. Oh.
That's actually... yeah, because one of these teams had someone come in late, didn't they?
One of the teams had someone come in late?
Was it Rhaegar who wasn't here on time initially?
No, everyone was basically here on time. Rhaegar just wouldn't freaking enter the lobby.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. I was going to say, because we've talked so often, again, on our own channel with more professional players about how you know, we see the best players just flounder because they definitely didn't warm up type of thing.
Mm-hmm. We had that situation on the CSL last week, I think. Where we're just like, wow, they don't look warmed up. Oh, that's me. Stop having the same portrait. It's like we're twins.
Yeah, it's like we both made this portrait or something,
No,
and then we're proud enough to wear it.
No, I don't know about that, buddy.
What?
I don't even ladder on this account, so it's like, how proud am I? I'm just kidding. It's Breon Terrace's, by the way. It's a Sora's pick. Ready.
Dude, so I gotta tell you about the coolest thing that happened in Fallout today.
Alright. You turn into a lava monster?
Well, no, yeah, you saw the tweets? That was really weird. No, dude, I was fighting like these super mutants as you do in Fallout, and I hear this helicopter, and I start looking around, and there's this Brotherhood of Steel vertibird in the sky, and that was really cool and all, but it was only coming in so that it could crash right in front of me. So what happened in this like perfect, like I wish I was streaming moment, was like basically a monster with a huge bomb was about to suicide into me, and the plane crashed into it and killed it. It's so glorious. It's so good.
That does sound cool. I don't know much about Fallout.
It's really fun. It's really fun. But okay, folks, continuing on here with the CSL round of 4, aka the semifinals. Spawning in the top left side of the map, it's going to be the Purple Zerg team, Rhaegar and Kokomite.
In the bottom right, going for early pool, early gas, it is the Red Zerg, Deidara, and Sasori.
What a crazy original plan that nobody's ever thought to do before in a ZVZ.
Well, there's that drone scout again. I mean, we talked about how this isn't worth the economy you lose out on just one single drone, but on the last occasion they did it, game 2, they still won that game. So it's not like it's devastating, it just doesn't usually seem worth it, once again, on a map that is just, you know, 1-to-1. The overlords usually are able to spot the lings, unless they take their time and go around it. And the drone died, which kind of sucks. I think that they would live. But, of course, now there's no use in trying to hide the lings. The jig is up. Rhaegar and Coco might just have to defend.
Unfortunately, I can't seem to talk about whether defending will go well or not, because as good as it's been aggressive for both players, in both the instances where each team had to defend, it kind of went not so great. But, of course, yeah, I believe it's Rhaegar and Coco, they're up 2-1 right now, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, so they got this game to lose if all goes poorly for them.
Mm-hmm. But with that really advanced scouts, they didn't accidentally go too greedy on the pool and gas timing. They do have, in fact, a Baneling Nest going down before speed, which is a fine way to play it. So is getting your speed and then holding off until you get your own Baneling Nest. Both can be the ways to win the game. It is more towards, you know, your control, with the lings, and also making sure like the queen doesn't die, you know, haphazardly, that type of stuff, as well as being able to read the game. So being able to look at your overlord paths and saying, oh, they're still reinforcing with lings, so keep on making lings, please.
Baneling's finishing up Team Red. I like the idea of a spine crawler, but
Oh no, they get blocked up with their own Baneling!
if they lose all the Zerglings, then that spine crawler doesn't really matter.
Oh god. Oh no, that's not what you want at all. Now the queen is still barely blocking out here with the help of a couple of lings, and it is only Banelings left over. The lings are coming across the field now, though. Oh, that's so many Banelings. This looks going to be so good. I think they've already messed up their defense. It's game.
It's over.
It's game.
Match fixing, Zombie Grub, as we go to the ace match.
Oh dear. Oh no. That was not the greatest defense we've ever seen.
No. All right, so they do drive this off. They are on one drone, and I'm terribly sorry, but this will take so many trips to get the minerals to build even a buddy for him.
Oh.
They can't go for a counterattack. In fact, they use some of their very last precious minerals to build Banelings. I don't know what they're thinking right now, but it's clearly not with their brains. I will say though, they're going like 500 APM deep here on building a couple of Banelings. Like Rhaegar and Coco might spike it up on that APM chart. God damn.
Can't even bother checking it. Oh, I can use the graph to illustrate just how poor they're doing. Yay,
That's so mean. That's so mean when we're putting it like this, guys. But I mean, let's be honest. You wouldn't even see someone like Snoot recover from a situation like this. Not on one drone.
Oh,
On its slow things too, dude.
Yeah. This all went wrong when they went for Banelings instead of speed. If they had gone for speed, there would have been no cocoon to black out their lings.
That's actually insanely and sadly true. I guess to highlight again, yeah, if you guys missed it, the reason that hit on the ramp even went off was just, they were blocked out. Two queens were blocking out as they needed to, but the lings were on the wrong side of those queens, and the Baneling kept them from walking through them. Or rather, the cocoon, the morphing Baneling.
Attack with the queens! It'll work! Trust me, I got this. I mean, their armor supplies are very similar.
Stop.
Don't knock it.
Stop.
They can transfuse a couple of these lings, man.
Zombie Grub, stop.
It's gonna happen. This comeback is real.
There's pings on the map. You know that it's serious. Like, they're not just being BM about it, 'cause they are trying to play it out, but I am curious as to why.
I got... Oh, they didn't even transfuse the queens. Like,
No.
come on now. Okay, GG. So, I complained about not getting the pings one time, and you're like, oh, that's weird. And then I got some pings in some other thing we did, so I figured it was just a fluke. And then yet again, I do not have pings. I'm not really complaining, because, like, they can be loud, obnoxious sometimes.
Sounds like
but,
complaining.
but it's like, I feel like there's a bug. But I don't know how to tell Blizzard. Hey, there might be a bug? I don't know.
We gave that girl some pings. Girls love pings.
No. Can't confirm. We do not.
Can confirm it has no bearing on our opinions whatsoever.
Okay, so the last map, of course, will be chosen by Kokomite and Rhaegar. Wow. What are the other maps left over? Well, Lairlock is one, and that's what they chose. I guess Arena was the other one.
Well, both are equally terrible maps.
Quite.
Aren't you so glad Blizzard is going to keep the current map pool? I'm so glad that Blizzard's going to keep the current map pool.
You know when like so many bad things happen that you stop caring about the next bad thing? You're just like, oh, this is my lot in life. That's kind of where I'm at.
I don't want to get into this because we can't talk about things like this, but I know exactly what you mean, and I 100% agree. But I'm also going to stop the conversation because the last thing I want to do is suicide my career in Starcraft by getting angry on the CSL channel.
Hey, now, I mean, these are just we're just talking about the rumors. They're just rumors. We don't really. What do we know?
Woman, please. Oh, let me turn off. Sorry, I forgot. All right.
All right.
All right.
Ace match. Everything's on the line, and I'm guessing both of them are gonna go for early pools because it's a terrible map otherwise.
Also, it's just gonna make sense.
Hells yeah. Best of 5, all 5 games is gonna take approximately 40 minutes because you started a little late. Amazing. CVZ is fantastic.
It's like you know that meme with the guys just like aliens. It's just like
Aliens.
ZVZ.
Yeah. Especially this hyper-aggressive ZVZ we're seeing from the CSL specifically. I mean, this league has gone from just like, what the hell are they doing in Legacy of the Void, to like, well, they know what they're doing, but obviously they're not pro players, to just having their own little meta where just, like, hyper-aggression in ZVZ seems to be the jam of CSL. And we've actually been seeing more and more macro games in our pro games that we cast. But here we go! It has started already. My jam.
My jam.
It started already. In the top right, as the purples are, it is Rhaegar and Kokomite.
Woo! In the bottom left, gas hype. It's gonna be Sasori and Didara.
Yes, yes, yes. So I mean, their win record with this build is like what now? 50? 50-50?
I was gonna say it's technically 2-2, so yeah, would make sense.
They went for that melee build though once, so it's like it's skewed. Damn it. And the point is that they seem to feel fairly confident doing this as the ace build. I mean, a lot is on the line. There's no losers bracket. There isn't even a third place. Third and fourth with the same amount of money, basically. And of course, everyone wants that big prize at the end, championship grab. And they're depending on a pool. And a gas. Not even.
Well, it's hard to say that this will come down to strictly the build. I mean, a map like this, they're almost guaranteed to get on top of a natural base in a worst case scenario. But we're also not seeing this. This matchup isn't going past this. We're not seeing it make it to the Roaches. We're not seeing it make it to the Ravagers. So it's really hard to speculate beyond what is the initial Lings. And this comes down to so much control. I mean, once again, for those who don't know, maybe you're tuning in for the first time, maybe you're just a casual college student, you don't follow a lot of StarCraft. In Archon mode, you've got 2 players controlling one team. So you've got one guy who's solely dedicated to building units for the other guy, and that guy then just gets to focus on making sure he doesn't run into a face full of banelings and lose his entire army. But that's not always how it's going to play out. Even the best players can still make mistakes, and that's what I'm very much afraid of for these guys.
I know it's a little bit later because of that delay, but didn't put a ping on it. That's not how I liked it. It was a pretty good pun.
What?
Like put a ring on it because you were like girls like pings.
If you like this, you would have put a ping on it.
Ping, ping. Okay, so even though they didn't go for the drone scout, which they did 2 out of 5 of these games, Rhaegar and Kokomite did prepare with a gas first and a pool first of their own, so they actually aren't looking so bad, despite not having quite seen all these banelings being morphed. There's quite a lot of them. They do have their own banelings, and this time they're not going to get trapped in front of them again.
Fool me once, shame on me.
Exactly, and this is looking really quite nice. Their banelings finish up. The banelings from Sasori and Deidara are just dying to, well, not enough, basically. The queen sets them off. They killed like 2 to 1 lings, like that's not very much. And speed has finished up. They went for that pool gas first with a hatchery, and they have that speed not so far behind. This is looking quite nice. Now the spine curler going down here is very dangerous, but there are the banelings to help defend it.
I'm gonna try to chase the links with that one baneling too. Usually we see this constellation go off on top of the larva to make sure you can't keep building units behind it. Unfortunately, that is on the wrong side of the hatchery, and so I'm mistake out of the micro player for it. With the spine crawler down, it doesn't guarantee the defense, but it makes it a lot more assured. That Baneling gets a pretty okay hit, but Sasori and Dedra have some more Banelings morphing right up here on the ramp, and Kokomite and Rigor, their Banelings are much, much later.
Yeah, they only have that one right there. The Spine Crawler again is gonna help. Oh, don't let the Banelings hit that. Spine Crawler takes out almost 2 of them. That would have been a nice help, but there's 1 Ling split off at a time. The Spine Crawler is going to go down, but
they don't have enough Lings to kill the hatchery.
Yeah, exactly. This might still go well. The production for Rhaegar and Kokomite is still good. They get another Queen popping out to even injects here. Let's remind you that they went pretty all in with this. Not like the speed, then the hatch, then the Baneling nest. No, they're all on 1 base still. This is quite dedicated, and it hasn't enough damage yet.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we might actually see a game get out of the Ling phase? Question mark? Yeah.
I don't know, broski. I don't know.
I mean, Sasori and Dedra are starting to get to the point where they could maybe throw it in the hatchery. They've got a lot of minerals banked up, but that could also be because they are lacking larvae presently, which they kind of are. But Baneling's training for Banelings. Lots of Lings here, just going to go dart towards that main, looking for a connection on top of the drone line. But, oh, manual detonation is hella awkward and doesn't do too well, but the Baneling's now gone, leaves these Lings free reign in the main.
Oh, there are the Lings from Rhaegar and Kokomite, and they are suddenly overwhelming. 27 to just 5. This counterattack, should they choose to do one, and they probably should, it's going to be too much. Do they even know that the hatchery hasn't been taken? Yeah, a Ling just got past there, so... Damn.
Sounds like, was it like Charlie's Angels or James Bond, like the mission, should you choose to accept it?
Yeah, but they really should choose to accept it. They send a couple of Lings over here just to stall reinforcements or maybe get a couple of kills. I mean, technically, I guess if you kill the Queen if she's not summoning help. But they are caught by the reinforcements.
You honestly, just 1 or 2 Lings out of Team Purple denying that hatchery. I mean, they are ahead. Despite the fact that their drones are down, they are technically ahead with that hatchery. And they can defend this Baneling attack. This is a really big dedication. In fact, it is specifically because they've made these Banelings and still don't have a natural base. This could be devastating. We have a small counterattack on the other side of the map. Oh, it gets cleaned up on their ramp, though. So nothing to look at. Focus here on this base. Oh my god.
Baneling wars are going hard, man. But now they don't have any reinforcements, so 1 Ling at a time is going to take care of this.
It's defended. I'm thinking Rhaegar and Kokomite may have won the game with that defense. It depends on what they do, though. They are starting to drone up a little. I like this. They're starting to drone up a little bit. This is what they should be able to do off the back end of this.
They are a little behind in those Lings now. Am I being too complacent? That is the fear here, and that's why they've been so hesitant to drone up. A couple of Banelings are here. 2 for 2, not gonna take it. Oh, they do at the end over there. This still should go okay for Rhaegar and Kokomite. They snuck 2 drones in, but now Red is starting to sneak a lot of drones in. Did they just transfuse that Baneling?
Awesome!
Those
Power
skills.
to the micro player.
Damn. Alright, well... They're going to try and solidify the defense with more Banelings and a Spine Crawler, and that really should be a solid defense, especially because Sasori and Dedara have stopped making Lings, really. They made a lot of drones, that's why they're up by 7 right now, and they try to get this hatchery down too, but at the end of the day, I mean, they're the ones that are still going to have that lackluster production, and they are going to still have to catch up for that, but it's possible that they do. Rhaegar and Kokomite had a nice defense, but not a perfect one. And if they read the situation wrong, they could still lose this game.
I'm surprised this even got to the point of a hatchery for Team Red. And also, question marks still being raised. Will this go to Roaches, or is this just going to be like a 9 to 12 minute game that's just Banelings and Lings, Banelings and more Lings? The Queen is not in a great spot. The Ling's actually probably going to kill her. They couldn't normally if she was full health.
There's a scuffle going on the other side of the map, a little bit more important, but Rhaegar and Kokomite's not really heavily committing to this. They take an okay one, apparently, as they're now controlling the natural, and of course they cannot lose this natural. That would be game over. 21 drones now for Rhaegar and Kokomite, just a big burst of drones to put them over the edge.
For both players, it's interesting to see I hesitate to say tunnel vision, but that seems like the best description on trying to kill drones instead of getting control of the map and the game and the army. I mean, that logic of sending your banelings into the drone line versus keeping them alive to zone out for the other lings, that sort of thing. National base doesn't look like it's going to go down just yet. There are not really any reinforcements coming across the map either, so this may actually normalize. Still, nice drone lead for the other team, and I do like that Roach Warren a lot more than the potential Spire that Team Red looks like they're going for.
Oh, well, no, they got their own Roach Warren.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had their own Roach Warren.
So just like faster Roach speed, but the problem is I don't think they're going to be able to find the timing, you know, for sacrificing more drones or an upgrade or a third base and getting that lair. Roach speed isn't really going to help them. You know, Rhaegar and Kokomite at this stage of the game really don't have a problem necessarily with just defending another attack, speed or not. As long as they have any roaches at home, the defender's advantage would win out. That roach count is steadily growing. They're just going to make sure that no counterattacks happen to mess up their flow. But Rhaegar and Kokomite are now ready for their own roaches, just basically whenever they see the need to get them. As long as they're still slow, Layla Crest might not be a big map, but it's still big for roaches at this stage. It's, you know, they're slow and clunky.
Who's a big boy? You are a big boy.
But
Who's
not a
big
fast
map?
one. But not a fast one. Wow, that's what you tell like a fat kid.
Wow.
So mean.
As a former fat kid, I can tell you that is confirmed mean. That bailing on the ramp could do some magic if it can get that connects, but... So, Roach Force coming into play. Drone count being somewhat equal here. I really expected this game to already have been over, but one of the big things about this as we move forward into roaches, now that we finally get to see this for the first time in the series, is to talk about how it's not just roaches anymore, but Ravagers have such a big influential part of this. And one of the awkward things about having no speed means usually, okay, your roaches can't stand around, they can't pick fights, even defensively you tend to be outmatched. But it's not going to be so bad not having speed if there's some Ravagers in play, because they are naturally fast themselves, but also Corrosive Bile helps make sure that Cesar and Didera just can't walk around wherever they'd like with their roaches. They have to be very careful not to run into those Corrosive Biles, potentially.
This game has equalized quite a bit. The Roach speed is, of course, in favor of a Red Zerg here, as they got that layer quite some time ago, actually, but didn't really get to use it until now. But once again, I feel like that speed isn't going to be what wins them the game. They can certainly give them control over the game, but not to an extent that I think would really help. I mean, basically, on Lairlet Crests, that situation, your third base is going to be pretty safe. Like, you got these rocks, and even if they're broken down, it's still a choke, so defensively it is still very nice. And you have Overlords without Corrosive Biles quite yet, because no one's really made any Ravagers, so you'll be able to see where their army is moving. Ooh, Burrow.
I like Burrow, but we've actually seen this almost 100% fall out of the game. We haven't seen Koreans, Europeans, North Americans. No one really goes for Burrow anymore. I'm personally a big fan of it, so now all of a sudden I found myself rooting for the Red Zerg for no reason other than that, but I'm curious how they plan to use it. It doesn't heal very fast. It doesn't let you move as fast anymore either. There's a lot of downsides to it, just being a bit of a waste of gas.
Well, there's that speed advantage, getting them over the map fairly quickly, but once again, not really helpful in taking the engagement, which is going to have defender's advantage written all over it. In fact, even a spine crawler. And, you know, Rhaegar and Koka might have a couple of Ravagers. Where are our red teams? Not made yet. They instead went for a couple more Banelings to take care of any lings and maybe get some nice hits on some clumped up roaches. Of course, they see the roaches moving over to the third base. Just move on over. There we go.
Mosey on in.
Yeah. Of course, their own third base is pretty far behind.
Y'all could go ahead and make yourself comfortable.
Ling counterattacks and try and get in here. It is not blocked off, so they could get a cancel. It's pretty low. A couple of Lings are now on the way. Oh, no, they went for the main. Never mind. That's not going to do anything now. Oh, where are the Overlords? There's nothing to kill them. What to say, like, they should not get something sniped up here. There's be an Overlord right here seeing, like, okay, they're moving over there. That is not,
Well, for both players, I mean, the vision's not really that hot.
Of course, Yeah, that's true. It makes a little more sense because there are Ravagers for Purple Zerg, which can take out Overlords. You have to actually kind of micro it if you don't want them to die.
That's the thing, though. It's Ravagers, but exactly two. Only enough to make it plural.
Yeah,
There's actually far less than I thought. And I mean, for those who don't know, one of the big things about them is they can shoot over the roaches. A lot of the times when you have these roach wars, it gets really awkward because the range is limited. So you get some roaches running in the back lines, back and forth. But Ravagers can just shoot over their roach brothers. Not to mention add in 60 damage a shot with each corrosive bile. But looks like we got tunneling claws done. We got burrow speed.
Oh, okay. Well, they revealed Burrow just right off the bat to go for a direct attack, so Overseers are being made everywhere. Now they're spreading out the roaches, and this is going to get really clumsy, basically. It's just going to be a mess.
I love this move, though. Like, 10 out of 10 applaud the effort of whichever guy it was that said, hey, let's do this, because this is a great way to split up your opponent's defenses. They did have a roach deficit coming into it, and they walk away with a huge drone lead as a result.
Ooh, no, this is game over type drone losses here, unless they have such a big army supply beyond this that a counterattack would win them the game. Rhaegar and Kokomite just might have lost a game that was, I mean, not basically
like theirs for a very long time.
But it did look like theirs, exactly. So it's, I mean, Sasori and Deidara had an excellent idea with these Roach Burrow maneuvers, but I feel like everything else just went a little wrong on the macro player's part for Rhaegar and Kokomite. A little too hesitant to drone, wasn't reading the game 100% correctly. They really could have gotten a bigger lead off of that early defense, I feel, and now they're losing. Like, they're going to try and drone up instead of doing anything else? That's not going to work.
And there's definitely question marks regarding decision making, but mostly, of course, communication playing a big factor in this. You and I know from playing quite a bit, but other people might not. You know, sometimes your communication is great at the start of the game. There's not a lot going on. You can focus on talking to one another, but then as time goes on, that communication breaks down. You're both sitting there in that try-hard silence that Starcraft 2 has trained everybody to do for 5 years. And well, we are saying, like, okay, yeah, mistakes on the macro player's part not reading the game. At the same time, it could also be the micro player who didn't reflect that information, didn't tell them what they need to know. Mutalisks now in play. Oh, gosh.
It just really, it's hard, like, and usually all the blame is on the micro player, because that's the most obvious mistakes, like, oh, you ran into a siege tank, so why did you do that? But in this game,
it was an accident, okay? I don't always do that.
In this game, it was more on just simply scouting and defending. They were constantly the defenders. All they had to do was defend and read the situation and get a better economy than they really did. This last attack, this last gamble was their best move, but it was late. I mean, Sasori and Deidara, they expected it in the first place. That's why they got all these spine crawlers. And GG, despite their build, I would say, not working, they do take the game.
Yeah, this will send them into that grand finals match, which is going to be really nice.
Yeah. I believe we have everyone here, too, which is nice. It's end almost exactly 10 o'clock, so the other two teams should be here and ready to go, but of course we still need to get them checked in, basically, and actually find out what the map is. So, congratulations to Pikes Peak for advancing to the finals. And we will see the next game, which will be, here we go, Ryerson University, ASN Massa versus Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, Jon Snow, and Jobama. So a pretty damn good matchup with Massa and Jon Snow, basically pitting against each other. But we will be there basically after a short break, hopefully. So again, we have some people in the chat already, but we need a few more. So hopefully not too long. We'll see you guys in a bit.
It's a story. I hope it gets better with time. Yeah, I hope it gets better with time.
That was New Gravitz, featured on his album Better With Time, available for purchase and streaming December 11th.